Nightlight doing it big on the big stage.
It is Nightlight, yes. They're
now
a solid doubles team.
It's Knight's chance to do it in singles as well.
Yep.
But you got to deal with one of the Southeast's strongest Inklings. And it's not just by I don't know if there are any other Inklings, but Pajarito's pretty strong too.
Yeah, we'll see what Pajarito can do here on the Inkling. This is one of those characters you don't see nearly as often these days, but still a solid character nonetheless, and Pajarito will show us just how to pilot this character. Knite, of course, on the Young Link, looking for a tech chase on that platform after the down tilt, but unfortunately couldn't connect much more. We're just seeing the early stages of neutral right now as both players try to figure out their opponent's game plan.
I mean, we're trying pretty hard to leave neutral at the moment. None of these projectiles have set up for quite as much as Knite was able to get just a second ago, now creeping up towards that 95%. And I think Young Link, you know, in terms of stature, is a little bit difficult for Inkling to deal with. Like, once you get him up into the air, sure, you're fine. But you're going to have to play pretty grounded to hit him with a lot of your stuff or commit really hard with aerials. And Young Link is pretty good at punishing both of those respective game plans. So we haven't really seen Paha get in for any big sequences or big hits. Looking for this bomb drop down air, unable to find it. Instead, just gets weak hit of the Nair.
You know,
But Knite really scouting for this kill.
Yeah, finding the forward throw. It's not going to be enough from that side of the stage. A little bit closer to that Pokeball. It's not going to kill just yet. But we are getting in kill throw range here for Young Link at this point in time. And Paint Roller going to come through. Knite swatting away, tossing the bomb up, having all this bomb item play here on this right side. We should see a stock relatively soon, and we do in the up tilt at that percentage. Definitely going to do it for Knite.
Yep. Now has the opportunity to build up quite a lead just by standing back and using the projectiles. Like, Inkling's got the splat bomb to throw his way and gonna try and make use of it, but it's quite hard to pin down Young Link in one place long enough for the splat bomb to do it, and instead is in this matchup mostly gonna serve in situations like that on the ledge or to cover space. It's not really gonna be able to stand a match for Young Link's own projectile game, but we get a really good dash through grab into an up throw up air, the good old booyah.
Yeah, the tried and true. Gets that kill off the top. Pajarito keeping it close to the cuff here, only 31% separating the two for the moment. Knite once again playing this keep away game with the bomb in hand and the boomerang. All sorts of projectiles being thrown out here for Knite. As Pajarito tries to get their hands on this tiny Link. He's just so evasive.
At least it's not as bad as the that Toon Link could be in this matchup, I think. But making really good use of the up B out of shield, too, to just continuously put Pajarito in unfortunate spots. Great tech off of the bomb, but still got to find the rest of the way back onto the stage and does it with a quick dash attack, beating out the arrow. One back air, a grab, could be an opportunity for so much more, but just gets the wrong hit of Nair. Knight's able to escape.
Yeah, Nair sent the wrong direction, back to center, and that's just where Knite wants to be at the current moment. Maintaining this presence with all the projectiles and playing on these platforms as well. Nice little confirm. Bomb into down air. It's not going to kill. I think that was a miscue on the up B.
Yeah, who was that up B aimed at?
I don't think he meant
Player
to.
5.
Must have been a miscue for sure. Neutral B into the grab. It's not going to kill just yet. Not quite on the edge of that stage. I think it might have. It was a little bit farther. Dragged down after the boomerang connection, and there's an up air for Knite. Solid kill confirms here. This Young Link is looking very effective.
Yeah, Knight's doing a really good job of using long lingering hitboxes, specifically the up air and the down air, after tossing a projectile so that he can cover the avoidance space from those projectiles. Not going to be able to make it back unless the bomb detonates in time. It does! And Knight's able to get back up onto the stage, and not just that, but get a down air into back air one. Unable to finish the combo, but it's still damage, and it's still a stock that I think Pajarito is thinking he shouldn't have.
124 now. Knite keeping this stock alive. And just the chip damage here.
Welcome to Young Link.
Arrows, bombs,
lamp oil,
boomerang.
rope. You want it?
So much. We've got it.
It's yours, my friend.
Only if you have the right amount of rupees.
You're not even close.
How's it go then, Last?
I don't want to do the full off.
You want it?
It's yours, my friend, as long as you've got enough rupees.
I think I almost got it
You were
right.
close.
It was pretty close. You know, I got the general idea.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
All right, Last. Way to be a perfectionist.
Well, Knite looking to perfect the ending of this game.
And he does.
And does so right then and there, a 2-stock. We've seen a lot of those today during this block on the side stream.
Yeah, it'd be that way sometimes, but Knite looking very practiced in this matchup, honestly. Feels like he knows what Inkling is looking for and is able to counter it very effectively, especially with the projectiles. So I think this could be difficult for Pajarito if he doesn't figure out how to get it on this young Link, because right now the keep-away game is really strong.
He's got to come back when he's a little bit richer so that he can try and get himself on the scoreboard.
Need more
game number
rupees.
2. Exactly. We don't do credit here,
Doesn't
but it's
have
back
enough
to
rupees.
PS2.
Back to PS2, you know? People love losing on this stage. I'll tell you what, last people are like, you know what? I lost on PS2. Let's go back. Why not?
It's the infamous finger twirl after you lose a game.
Run it back?
Run it back.
I never let that happen. If you're finger twirling me, I'm saying no. What are your bans, brother?
I'll ban us back to that same stage if you finger twirl me.
Yeah, there's no way. It's not happening. I'm at the very least, not going with your terms. It's going to be my terms, if anything. So don't wag your finger at me.
Although, Knite definitely playing on his terms at the moment.
100%.
Just got Pajarito stuck off that left side. Finally regained stage, but isn't even able to punish the wayward up B. Nothing seems like it's going this Inkling's way at the moment.
No. Certainly difficult. About 30%. Not a ton of paint left in the tank here for Pajarito. Knite pressing their advantage in the shield pressure. Wow. Pajarito just sitting there taking all this pressure from Knite on that shield with the projectiles, with the aerials. And a lot of Young Link's kit is actually surprisingly safe, especially those projectiles from a distance. So it can be difficult to get a punish out of shield.
He like stepped on the fuse of that bomb as he was coming back down, but he doesn't get all the way to the Pokeball in the center. He stops short on the ledge, gets caught. Now it's just more damage. It seems inescapable for Paha. He just cannot get onto solid footing and into an advantage state that matters.
Yeah, I think finding an advantage state that actually does matter is very difficult here for Inkling right now. Both these characters, I was just noticing, they're like the same exact height. It's kind of like two children on the playground, like just battling.
At least this Inkling's alt gets the bonus height from the
hair.
hairdo.
Yeah.
But I think like if you measure forehead to forehead, they're just about the same.
They're about the same height. They're both, well,
at least 6 foot, right?
I don't think so.
That's got to be 6 foot.
If they're 6 foot, then they're like giants. I don't know.
Exactly.
Could be possible. There's an upbeat connection. And actually looking for the reset. Went for the wave land on the platform. This isn't melee, though. Pajarito recognizing that and getting out of that punish situation, not taking the up smash. But all these neutral Bs coming through and tried to throw a boomerang as well, but there was no boomerang to be had.
This matchup looks so annoying for Inkling.
It does. How does Inkling get in? I feel like Inkling...
Oh, nice call out with the up smash.
I feel like Inkling notoriously not the greatest into zoners, I would say, because they kind of want to be in boxing.
Stop that sentence. Inkling notoriously not the greatest.
Yeah, no, notoriously not the greatest. I feel like that's a very effective way to explain it. Uppy is going to be countered, though, by the grab. Pajarito looking to find something. I feel like he needs to edge guard Knite more often, but the recoveries have been really good. So how do you get your hands on this little Link? I don't know, Last. What do you think?
Yeah, and even when Pajarito does, manage to make contact rather.
Content.
Not content, although we are making some content
yes,
here.
Sir.
As you get caught under the stage, and it's the jet from the Inkling up B. Knocks him into the stage, and no tech means no stock.
No, sir. Spraying some paint on Young Link. Maybe we need more paint on him. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe we need to rack up some more percent.
I want this Young Link green.
We need to cover.
I don't like this alt.
Turn him back to the original color. But go back to the blast zone, says Knite, as the forward air connects. And I believe that is now 2-0 for our friend, the Young Link, as they find that advantage state, find that kill.
Indeed it is, and I saw at the very end the hint of the stat screen, and Young Link did 430% about during that. That's I would say like an average amount for a dominant game. And when you're having the average for a dominant game, it's quite good.
It's also pretty safe too because he's killing him at higher percent while also not losing his own stocks. So he's really just playing the chip damage game, getting Inkling into the high enough percentage to where he can actually find the kill.
Yeah, it's just an average of like 140-ish% per kill.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're doing it comfortably right around that every time. You know, when you see, actually usually higher damage is bad in one games, which is like a funny statistic to think about. But when you see somebody like winning a game with like 600 damage dealt.
But they have 2 stocks.
Yeah, well, they're killing really late, and that's a bad thing. You want less damage, more stocks.
Yeah, yeah. But if they have like 600 damage and they have their 2 stocks still by the end of the game, that means they're completely dominating neutral, and there's almost no chance for the opponent to actually do anything.
Yeah, that's always like you see that in like Bayonetta games.
Yeah.
When Bayonetta wins by a lot.
See those in Mutex games sometimes too.
Oh.
Booyah. Off the top. Up throw up air. We'll be able to confirm that for Pajarito, and going up the first stock. Is this the first time we've seen them up a stock in the set so far?
I think so, and I think part of that has to do with the the final switch off of PS2. We made it to small battlefield.
Thank goodness. Get me
and
off that stage.
Out. Look at this.
Apparently we don't want the stage green. We want this Young Link green, though, as we find a
saw
back
that
throw.
Really nice dash through. He's going to be able to get back up with the bomb. Pajarito just can't quite space correctly to catch the down air for the spike on the recovering Young Link. So Knite gets a second shot, and I think he's thankful for it because he would have lost that stock sub 70.
Yeah, and that would have been Pajarito's chance to really just take control of game number 3. Still in control for the moment with that third stock being maintained, but I feel like Knite is now on the hunt for this stock. Once again, we see the chip damage game. Knite just setting up this Inkling, roasting them, grilling them up before they can finally find that final connection.
One other thing, too, Knite has been so aggressive off the stage. You know, these falling, lingering nairs, the runoff fairs, runoff nairs, and it's an up tilt underneath. But Pajarito just hasn't quite gotten the same effectiveness in these situations. Like even right there, a grab and a back throw, but he's got to do something else to actually get the stock, and instead, Knight's able to get back up on stage. So when you're in these situations, when you set up these ledge traps, but you only end up getting 15-20% from it, no, you should be killing.
Yeah. Definitely something to be said about the character Inkling, though. Doesn't have that many confirms, honestly. Like, there is the up throw, up air. There's nair into some sort of connections.
I'm looking for, like, a runoff back air, man.
Even, like,
edge guard him.
Maybe even, like, a roller at some point. We haven't seen the roller ground.
Oh, you're never going to roller Young Link.
It's kind of hard to do that. But like,
there's a
surely
reason.
There's a moment it can happen, though. Surely.
There's a reason Pajarito isn't using it, and it's because it's so slow. Young Link can just full hop or hit you with a neutral B, and you get stunned out of it.
It's just not worth it.
It will not work.
Yeah.
Unless you have like the hardest call out.
Either way, Pajarito still in the lead. About 55% here. Quick math. Trying to find this stock though, and that's been the name of the game here for Knite, as they have been able to find their stocks relatively easily. Pajarito less so. And slowly Knite beginning to encroach on this percent lead that Pajarito possesses.
Yeah, after the start of this game, Paja had such a massive lead, both in terms of stocks and percents, and it's all just gone away. The fair 2 connects. It's not enough to KO, but it is enough to give Knite the actual lead.
Yeah, Knite slowly but surely finding the chip damage, beginning to chip away at this Inkling. Going out the Splat Bomber, looking for a ledge trap. The down tilt is going to catch the ledge hang for Knite.
I like that. Upbeat high immediately, knowing that his bomb fuse was really short, so it would pop him, and then he could change his recovery route. Very, very smart from Knite.
Looking for a neutral beat confirm is Knite. Finally
and
finds the boomerang into forward air, and almost had the perfect DI to survive, but I don't think all the DI in the world would have saved you at that percentage.
No, with 150 plus on Young Link as well, so had full rage.
Yep.
But that full rage, that did mean that an Inkling back throw was enough to get the stock. So we go down to last stock. Can Pajarito take us to at least a game 4? Will Knite close it out here? Got to find that out, and it's Knite who strikes first.
Yeah.
Down throw, back air, into the runoff stage, forward air. Really good catch on the platform and really good catch off stage. Knite just inching towards that finish.
An advantage state once again from Knite, 92% in that string. It was their turn for a very, very long time, and it still is, surprisingly.
Oh,
and
look
oh my
at all
goodness,
those
double
bombs.
bomb and into the Boomerang as well. It seems like this is no longer an even game last. It feels like Knite could begin to win this in a 3-0 fashion.
No, and notice too how Pajarito is completely out of ink, manages to
my
get
goodness.
a tiny bit by going over into the corner and trying to charge, and guess what happens when he tried to charge up some ink? Just dash grab, done. Very well played.
What an anticlimactic way as
But
well.
I mean, it was well recognized by
was.
Knite too. Like he saw the same thing I did, that Pajarito was out of ink and needed at least a little bit to make use of the better side of Inkling's kit. And so as soon as he saw that Pajarito disengaged, tried to go into that corner to charge up, he was like, I got to grab with your name on it. This hook shot, get in here.
Knite was cooking, that's for sure. We saw plenty of effective tools being utilized in that Young Link. And Young Link is one of those characters that has so many good tools, so many good options in their kit to change the game plan, to change how they play. We saw Knite make very effective use of Young Link, and I think we're going to continue to see that as they move on through the bracket.
Yeah, and I've been pleasantly surprised by Knite throughout this weekend. You know, it is still pretty early in bracket, and it hurts me just a tiny bit to see a player from my home region go down like that. But Pajarito is going to be able to make a run through the losers bracket, and it's nice to see, you know, the lesser-known skill being put on display at the tournaments like this, and we get to see Knite both in doubles and now in singles doing quite well. So, yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable to watch these sets. I mean, even the pool sets have been close, you know. I mean, that one not so much, but like some of the pool sets we've had, like G-Money and Scrafty was a pretty hot set. Game 5, last stock, last hit. That's not something you always see in pools, so it speaks to the level of talent we've had here at MomoCon so far, and a lot of the early game matches really do matter, and they really do add up.
Yeah, and I really like to see the way that the stream queue has been done here, especially at these convention tournaments. I keep saying that, but a lot of the time at, like, you know, the S tier, the premier tournaments and stuff, the stream runners will just grab like top player X, Y, and Z from their winners round 2, and they just go up on stream and
True.
9-stock some poor
They
person.
destroy some guy. Yeah.
And you know, that's kind of boring. We get to see enough light. We get to see enough.
Fun sometimes.
Sometimes. But like we get to see enough MK Leo later in the bracket against people who are putting up much more of a fight.
This is the chance for the underdogs to shine.
Let me watch two 0-2ers fight. It's way funnier.
Yeah, it is. It can definitely be pretty funny. I can agree with you there.
I just always think that two well-matched people are always going to be more interesting than a blowout, especially in early pools. And so I love to get to see stuff like that. And that's not saying that the people we've been seeing, like Scrafty and G-Money you were mentioning, they're not 0-2ers for sure. We saw that set.
No, they are not.